They're ignoring the initiative. The initiative was K through 12. They increased funding K through 3. And the new budget that they just passed, I believe, is also K through 3, right? Yeah. So they're focusing on the lower grades. The state is. The state is focusing on funding for smaller class sizes at the lower grades, but not at the high. I'm a high school teacher, so this is kind of one of my issues.
Right, right.
We need smaller classes at the secondary level, too.
Okay. So we got to add that. Wendy, you got a lot. Wendy, I know that I'm not the first person to tell you this, but you have a lot of issues.
I do have issues. Class.
Do you want to talk about class size, Anthony? Anything more about that?
No, I think we've covered the majority of this discussion.
Okay, so
it's a one need from all sides. Parents.
So how about yes or no? How about one-to-one technology for all grade levels? Yes or no? And why are you opposed to that, Wendy?
For all grade levels, one-to-one technology. I think the term one-to-one technology is a very broad term.
Okay.
And so...
When in doubt, vote against it?
I'm not necessarily opposed to increasing access to technology for students at every grade level, but a lot of times when people use the phrase one-to-one technology, it's this idea of giving kids a device.
Right.
And I'm not really in favor of giving kids, kindergartners, devices and expecting them to be responsible for them.
Right.
But also, I think that, like I said, it's viewed as this sort of broad answer to a lot of problems in education. It's a very useful tool, but it is not the panacea for public education. So I think we tend to get lost in providing technology, and we forget that it is a tool that people need to be trained how to use effectively, responsibly, and that's for students and for teachers.
Yeah, beginning with the teachers. Yeah. We always had that issue. Yeah. Okay. So when you, in your priorities, Anthony, if you had to choose, if you had, $1,000 and it was going to go to reducing the class size or one-to-one, what would you put it to? Your 1,000, your 100,000.
Is that 1,000 per student?
Class size.
Pardon me.
Class size.
Class size.
I would agree.
I mean, one-to-one teachers would be great.
I think I saw that in the editorial board interview, you said something like there was no limit to the tax money that should be put into education. Yeah, maybe I should follow up with that because the way it came out. Yeah.
The question was what amount of money should we give, and then the follow-up was like, how much is in the budget? And they found out the budget is $3 million.
Roughly. Oh, you did good.
Yeah. So
good for you.
I mean, our students are asking for uncapped potential, and if it costs $1 million more, then we might as well just invest that money. It eventually also benefits the state because the education system is the #1 employer compared to Boeing and then all the other ones up in Seattle. So it would greatly impact the communities locally.
I agree. It's just that life's not that simple.
There's no easy.
You're always balancing stuff. So okay, so that's good. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Me?
Yeah.
I think when it comes to determining the tax level for the school district, I mean, that's something that the community weighs in on. The school board doesn't just get to arbitrarily set an amount. That's something that's voted on by the community members. So I think that the community members should be able to decide for themselves what that limit is.
So where are we in the Vancouver School District as far as technology and one-to-one technology?
Pretty far along, actually.
Okay, so the voters have said, or if they studied the issue, if they just didn't feel like they have to vote for the levy because they'd be a horrible human being if they didn't. So they voted for one-to-one technology and, I guess they also voted for class size. but somebody made the decision that one-to-one technology policy would go forward, and then the class size wouldn't?
Well,
who did that? Where was that?
The voters of Washington State voted for the class size initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Then the school board gets to decide how that, and I mean, it's kind of two different things we're talking about. So I was talking about local levies.
Right.
So the local community determining the added value that they want to invest into their schools. No one voted on one-to-one technology as far as a community. They vote for the school board that sets those priorities.
Well,
if they feel like the school board is spending their money irresponsibly or not implementing that policy appropriately, then they're not going to vote for the next levy.
Or the information isn't provided in minutes